Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to stick to Sweden and we're doing another review from a brewery that you've seen me review a number of times before, and these guys always do some pretty interesting stuff. They're particularly good at sour beers and also at imperial stouts and porters, the dark side of the spectrum basically. But for this one we are going to go back and have a taste of an IPA, and this is one that has kind of just been restocked recently through Systembolaget. So for this one we're going to have a taste of the Fresh IPA, which comes in at 7% ABV, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep, 7% ABV, and yeah, this is one that's supposed to be very, very good. I don't know how many IPAs I've actually reviewed from these guys before, but one of my favourite beers on the lighter side of things from Dugges was Mango Mango Mango. That really was an absolutely lovely beer, so very curious to see how this one turns out. As I say, one that's been very popular through Systembolaget, and very curious to see how it turns out. So I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Dugges Bryggeri before. No doubt there will be some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Dugges Bryggeri then. So at Dugges Bryggeri, for this one, we're going to head up towards Gothenburg once again. Göteborg, you should say in Swedish, and this one, you know, that city is really the beer city of Sweden these days. So Dugges Bryggeri are based in Landvetter, which is on the outskirts of Gothenburg, and the brewery was established back in 2005 in Mölndal by Mikael Engström Dugge, and since 2010 they've focused solely on top fermented beers, and due to the kind of boom that there's been in Swedish craft brewing, they actually soon outgrew their very first facility that they had, and they had to move to Landvetter, which is actually quite close out to the airport in Gothenburg. But the older brewery had a capacity of only 1,500 hectolitres per year, but this new brewery has a capacity of 8,000 hectolitres when it was built, and I think they've actually expanded it even further beyond that by adding more tanks and things like this. But pretty much you can get the blackberry beer. I think that's one of the ones from Dugges that is available nationwide. I still need to try that one actually, and they've always got various things coming through the small partiers and stuff like that. We only get a limited selection of the Dugges beers through Systembolaget, of course, because of the bureaucracy and stuff like that, but if you go to restaurants and bars and things like that, there is a whole host of these different Dugges beers available. So yeah, a brewery that you definitely want to keep out for. These guys are probably one of the better known Swedish breweries, along with the likes of Opigårds, Omnipollo, and all of these kind of things. These guys are one of the ones that are a little bit more longer established actually, because they've been on the go for over 10 years now, and there's a lot of newer, younger ones popping up too. But these guys, as I say, do some really interesting stuff. If you like big imperial porters and stouts, this is a brewery you want to check out. And if you like sort of sour beers, and some of the IPAs I think I've heard of pretty good as well, so if you like those kind of things, then you really want to have a go at some Dugges beers. So yeah, that's all you really need to know about the brewery just now. If you want to learn a little bit more, check out the brewery website in the description below. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and things like that, and keep up to date with all the latest goings on. So yeah, make sure that you check them out. But yeah, that's all you need to know. Let's get on to the tasting of this beer itself. So like I said, this one is a 7% IPA, fresh IPA, and it says on the side here, fresh is what is all we've learnt during our long journey towards super crisp, nice, sparkling and crushingly lush. An ever-evolving IPA coming to this that's fresh. This is fresh. Got to be fresh, full stop. So yeah, I quite like that. From what I gather, there's been a few incarnations of this beer. I think they first started doing this one back in about 2015, and they're constantly changing the hops. So I might just I might name this beer review Fresh November rather 2018. But yeah, this is their 2018 edition of the Fresh IPA. Plain bottle cap on this one. It says best before the 25th of October 2019, so I'm guessing this one has only been in the bottle about a month, so it is still pretty fresh. So without further ado then, let's get this guy out and we'll go on with the tasting. So yeah, let's get it out. Nice smoky opening there, and we'll get it out and into the glass. This looks good. Yeah, so actually quite light looking for an IPA, I have to say. So in terms of colour, this one's poured a lovely kind of pale, golden, almost straw colour. If I put my fingers behind the glass there, you can see it is quite hazy. But yeah, no, it actually looks, I do wonder if they'll have used some Pilsner malt or something like that in it just to keep it so light, Pilsner and pale malt maybe, because you can smell a little bit of almost Pilsner lager type malts coming out of the beer in this one. There's a half finger of a frothy, I would say perfect white head, but that's fading away very quickly, just to be a very thin foamy layer. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and a few little ones heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But you know, overall, it looks pretty nice. As I say, a little bit lighter than I would normally expect from an IPA, but overall, looks pretty good. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and see how we get on with this one. Ooh, yeah. So with this beer, it's got a good little bit of passion fruit to it. And pineapple, I think. I think it's either Simcoe or, there's either Simcoe or Galaxy in this one. Could be a little bit of Citra or something in there as well. There's maybe a little bit of mango. I think a little bit of passion fruit or something in there as well. And passion fruit, and if it's pineapple as well, the pineapple's making me lean a little bit towards it being Galaxy. Yeah, pineapple's making me lean a little bit more towards Galaxy, but there's something in that smell that's making me think more just Simcoe. Simcoe's more straight up passion fruit. I wonder if there's a little touch of orange in there as well, but there's a wee tiny bit, maybe, you know, there could be a little bit of mosaic or something in there too, which would be interesting. Yeah, I don't think this one's any of the more kind of unusual hops, you know, like Enigma or Victoria's Secret or, you know, Soriachi Ace or, you know, something random like that. I think this one is quite well known hops. I mean, I think maybe, as I say, it's either Galaxy or Simcoe, I think. Maybe I'm leaning a little bit more towards Galaxy, but there could be just, it could be Galaxy and Simcoe, right enough. I think there's a little touch of a little touch of Citra in there because there is mango, and you can pick up there's a little bit of lychee and gooseberry. But once you sugar the beer up and once your nose opens up to it a little bit, I think there might be a little bit of an orange and blueberry thing in there. So I do wonder if there's a wee bit of mosaic in there. So in terms of fruits, passion fruits, mangoes, pineapples definitely, and I think there's a little bit of that tangerine orange. And there's definitely, you're getting some of these complexities that you would expect from Citra or from Mosaic as well. There's a little touch of blueberry in this one for me, and there's also a little bit of that kind of lychee, gooseberry sort of thing from the Citra as well. But you know, overall, it's a really interesting beer. This one, it's got a nice big juicy aroma. In terms of the sort of the grassy floral side of things, to me, this one leans more towards the grassy side of things. There is an element of a sort of wet floral kind of thing in there too, but mainly the hoppy side of things is quite grassy for me. Yeah, and the malt base, it smells pretty much like, you know, pale malt or something like that. There is a little bit of a kind of biscuity thing going on, pardon me, going on, which would indicate the likes of, you know, biscuit malt or carapils or something like that. I think there might be a little touch of that, but mainly it just smells like a smooth, kind of white bread, you know, almost just like a straight up pale malt base. But overall, you know, it does smell like a nice beer. There's nothing overly surprising about this aroma in terms of an IPA, but as I always say, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. But we're going to have a taste of this one now. So this one is the fresh 2018 edition, November 2018 edition from Dugges Bryggeri up in Landvetter near Gothenburg in Sweden. Let's get stuck into this one. Slange, skål. Yeah. Now, it's a pretty good beer, this. I will say that straight up about it. It's very easy to drink, you know, it's one of these ones, it is kind of quite crushable, I guess you could say. One of my followers, Jesse, he keeps using the word crushable. It's easy to crush this beer. And yeah, this one is really just one of those. It's 7%, that's a little bit dangerous to be fair, because it is starting to get on the stronger side of things, but for an IPA at least. But yeah, no, it's nicely done, this beer. It's one of these kind of crisp, easy drinking. It almost feels a little bit more like a pale ale, to be honest with you. It's almost, to me, the way this beer's coming across feels a little bit more like just a kind of strong pale ale, really. I think that's probably a fair way to describe this one. But yeah, I like what this one's going for. So yeah, let's try and break this down a little bit so you can feel there's a nice little bit of that pale bready malt base that goes right across the middle of your tongue there, just blankets the middle of your palate. As you go further into the aftertaste, the malt base sweetens up a little bit and you start to get some kind of biscuity flavours out of this one. There might be there's not caramel in this, it's more a sort of digestive biscuity syrup sort of thing that's in the middle of your palate there, and it just, as I say, as you go further and further into the aftertaste there, it really just sweetens up a little bit. And the malt base is very simple, but it certainly does work, and I like how it has that little touch where it just sweetens up. But yeah, I'll say straight away, they've done a good job of this. I can see why this one sold so well. One, because it's actually just really nice, and two, it's ridiculously easy to drink. For a 7% beer, that's one of the most sessionable ones I think I've actually ever come across. So yeah, big thumbs up to Doogus Bryggeri for this one. But let's focus on the hoppy side of things a little bit. Back corners of the palate, I think there's a tiny little touch of earthiness in there, which, if there's mosaic in this beer, I think that's where it would come from. As you come further forward, it smooths out a little bit, and the beer becomes a little bit more floral around the front corners of the palate. Then round the very front curve of the tongue, it's just a little bit lighter and more grassy rather than anything else. So yeah, it has the typical sort of floral grassy elements that you would expect from the IPAs or pale ales and stuff like that. And then behind the front curve of the palate, that's where the fun really starts with the fruity esters. But yeah, I like how this one kind of goes together. So for me, there's a teeny little bit of grapefruit in this one. You just go towards the back, that little oily bubble you get behind the front curve of your tongue, if you just go to the back of that, there is a little bit of that slightly darker grapefruit flavour there, but then if you come in front of it, mainly it's passion fruit, I think, that's forming the base of this beer, the base of the fruity side of this beer, because you're definitely finding that those darker passion fruity grapefruit flavours are dominating the fruity side of things, and when the further you go into the aftertaste, it's more of the passion fruit that comes out, and the grapefruit just puts its head out a little bit as well, which is nice. Yeah, and I think there is a little touch of I think there is a bit of mosaic in here. I'm definitely getting a little bit of an orange note and some kind of blueberry notes on the very, very tip of my tongue. I do think that there's I wonder if it could just be straight up Simcoe and mosaic in this one. I wonder if it's just a double hopped beer. Because I'm not getting too much in the way of I was picking up pineapples in the aroma, but but the flavour again, I'm thinking it might well just be Simcoe that's in this one, because I'm not getting too much in the way of pineapple, and that's the main difference that you find between the Galaxy and the Simcoe. I think I always like playing guess the hops with these beers if you don't know what's in it, but definitely passion fruit in this one, nice oranges, a little bit of grapefruit. And I think I've got a feeling there might be a little bit of Citra in here, but I'm not certain about that from the flavours, and the mangoes aren't coming out too obviously to me, but then if it's got a little bit of that grapefruit, and I think there is a little touch of mango in there, and I'm also feeling that there's a little bit of lychee or something around the edge of the front curve of the tongue as well. That is making me think Citra, so if I had to hedge my bets, I would say Citra, Simcoe and Mosaic in this beer. I think those are the three that I would be tempted to go for in this one. As I say, I always like playing guess the hops with these beers, but I think mainly your fruits are a little bit of grapefruit, passion fruit. I think there's a touch of oranges in there, and there's a little bit of these kind of lychee, blueberry sort of notes that are the complexities of some of those hops. But overall, like I say, a very, very nice beer. I just like playing guess the hops when you get these IPAs like that. But yeah, I really do like this beer. It's one of these ones, it comes across as a sort of slightly stronger pale ale, in terms of its malt base and things like that, because it is a fairly simple light malt base in this one. So to me this one kind of is, as I say, it's like an APA but just a little bit amped up in terms of alcohol, but in terms of drinkability and its flavours and stuff, it's a very, very good beer this. So if you get the chance to try it, have a go at it. Like I said, one of the more popular ones that's come out through Systembolaget. So a big thumbs up to Dugas Bryggeri for this one. In terms of the mouthfeel then, I would say it's mid-bodied, it's on the lighter side of mid-bodied. Carbonation is very smooth. It does have a little bit of crispness to it, this beer, which obviously it said on the label it is designed for. There is a good element of crispness to this one. Mouthfeel overall I think is a little bit wet, got quite a nice wetness to it. It's got a nice little bit of hoppy bitterness. I would say it's somewhere around maybe 40 IBUs, something like that. It's not going to blow your head off in terms of IBUs, definitely not. 40 or 50 IBUs out of this one. Nice bit of juicy fruits, and the malt base overall, like I said, it is kind of smooth at the start, but then it sweetens out a little bit and you get more of these nice biscuity flavours. But overall, a really nice beer, this one, very easy to drink. The best way to describe this one briefly is it's like an APA, but just with a little bit more alcohol in it. So, but it does have a lot of nice, juicy, fruity flavour. So yeah, have a go at this one for yourself and see what you think. But another very, very solid beer from Dugas Bryggeri. And as I say, as I've said before, if you like coffee stouts, these guys do some of the best coffee stouts that you're ever going to taste. So yeah, check out this brewery if you haven't had them before. They're definitely worth having a look at. But yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. So this one was the Fresh, an IPA, or the 2018 edition, sorry, of Fresh from Dugas Bryggeri in Landvetter, just outside of Gothenburg in Sweden. Really nice beer, this one, very easy to drink, and one that I do recommend you try. So once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out my social media. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know about the other editions of this beer that you might have tried as well. But yeah, really nice beer from these guys, and it's a brewery that you definitely want to check out. But until the next time, Slanger just now, and I will catch you guys very soon. The Fresh November 2018 edition from Dugas Bryggeri in Landvetter outside Gothenburg in Sweden. Skål!